Hey there, and welcome. Today we're diving into one of the most incredible, most empowering ideas in all of neuroscience, the fact that you can literally change your own brain.
So let me just ask you something right off the bat. Do you think your brain is, well, set in stone? Once you hit adulthood, are you pretty much stuck with the brain you've got?
For the longest time, the scientific consensus was pretty clear. The adult brain was a fixed machine. It didn't change. But today, we know that's completely wrong. The answer is a huge, resounding no.
So yeah, your brain isn't some static piece of hardware. It's so much cooler than that. It's more like a living, breathing sculpture, one that you get to shape and reshape your entire life. And that is the amazing ability we're going to unpack right now.
Okay, so the official scientific term for this is neuroplasticity. And all it means is that your brain has this built-in ability to change its very structure and how it works, all based on what you experience, whether that's learning a new skill, taking in new information, or even recovering from an injury.
Look, if that definition sounds a little dense, just think of it like this. Neuroplasticity is basically your brain's own software, always ready for the next upgrade. It's not static, it's a dynamic, living system.
So how does this rewiring actually happen? I mean, it's not just a cool metaphor. It's a real biological thing that's happening inside your head. So let's get into the science of it.
It really boils down to two main ways your brain adapts and changes. One is for learning new things, and the other is for being resilient when things go wrong. And here they are. On one side, we have what's called synaptic plasticity. This is all about building new connections, new pathways between your brain cells. It's the absolute foundation for how we learn and remember anything. And on the other side, you've got compensatory plasticity. Think of this as your brain's amazing backup generator. It's all about rerouting signals to work around any damage or decline.
You've heard the phrase, use it or lose it, right? Well, that is the perfect motto for synaptic plasticity. Just like a muscle, those connections in your brain get stronger every time you use them. And if you stop using a skill or recalling a memory, your brain is super efficient. It just prunes those connections away to make room for new stuff.
Okay, so that's the theory, but let's see what this actually looks like in the real world. How do these two types of plasticity actually show up in our lives every single day? Let's take something simple, like learning a song. The first time you hear a new tune, it's kind of just a bunch of notes. But you listen to it a few more times, and what's happening? Your brain is physically building and strengthening the pathways for that melody. Pretty soon, you can't get it out of your head. You know it by heart. That's synaptic plasticity in action.
Now, let's talk about the brain's incredible backup plan. Research on older adults is fascinating here. As the brain ages, some parts might not be as sharp as they used to be. So, to do a task that a younger brain might handle with just one area, an older brain does something amazing. It compensates. It recruits backup regions, sometimes lighting up both sides of the brain, both hemispheres, just to get the same job done. It's a beautiful example of resilience.
And here is the absolute best part of all this. This isn't just something that happens to you. You are not a passenger here. We can actively encourage this process. So let's talk about a daily toolkit you can use to build a healthier, more adaptable brain. We're going to break down 4 powerful, evidence-based habits that you can start using literally today to boost your brain's natural ability to change and grow. All right, habit number 1, engage multiple senses. When you're trying to learn something, don't just read it. Create what researchers call memory anchors by using different senses. There's this great example from a study with kids. They learn numbers way faster when they connect each number to a specific color, and also to a musical note. You see, they're building multiple pathways to the same piece of information. It's brilliant.
Habit number 2 is all about active learning and repetition. It's a pretty simple 3-step cycle. First, you expose yourself to something new. You really have to engage with it. Then you repeat it. You use those new connections again and again. And finally, your brain takes over and does its thing. It strengthens those pathways, making them faster and more automatic.
Habit 3 is a huge reminder that building your brain is a full-body sport. It's not just about Sudoku or crossword puzzles, as great as those are. Things like sports, art, singing, dancing, even physical tasks like gardening or building something with your hands, these are incredibly powerful for firing up brain plasticity.
And finally, habit number 4, mix up your environment. A brain that's exposed to rich, new, stimulating things is a brain that's building more connections. It's that simple. So change up your daily routine, go to a new place, talk to someone new. It all feeds your wonderfully plastic mind. But here's maybe the most important piece of advice through all of this. You have to choose activities that you actually enjoy. The science is really clear on this. Personal preference is the key. Why? Because if you love it, you'll stick with it. And consistency is what really truly drives change in the brain. So when you put all of this together, this really powerful idea emerges. You are not just living inside your brain, you are its chief architect. You're the one holding the blueprints.
Think about it. Every single choice you make, every day, what you decide to learn, who you talk to, where you go, these aren't just things you do. They are the very tools you are using to actively sculpt the physical architecture of your mind.
So I'll leave you with this question. Now that you know you have this incredible power to rewire your own brain, what's the very first new connection you're going to choose to build?